We're not live yet.
Okay.
We're not live yet.
Okay.
But we can.
But we are alive.
We are alive.
We are
We can be
alive.
live when you're ready.
We are alive. Hi, guys. It's Ron Bass with another edition of the Ron Bass Show, your source for inspiration, encouragement, motivation, dry humor. Mr. Brent Atterbury.
Oh, hello.
Back from a wonderful vacation.
Yes.
Tell us about it.
I became one with nature.
Okay.
No. We took my wife and I took a trip that was on our bucket list,
Okay.
which was an Alaskan cruise. And I could talk for maybe 125 hours about it, but we'll shorten it and make it short and sweet.
Okay,
But if you want to see nature up close, an Alaskan vacation is wonderful. The views are outstanding. The history, fun fact, didn't know this, I was sharing with Ron earlier, it's the number 2 rainforest in the world,
Wow.
with Amazon being number 1.
Would have never
I didn't
thought
know that.
Yeah, would have never thought that.
I get a lot of snow, a lot of rain. That's how the glaciers, form up in there. So,
Got it.
So, but yeah, it was. And another fun fact: for every when a snowflake lands on a glacier in Alaska, it takes approximately 250 years for it to finally reach the
That's
ocean.
crazy.
Little fun fact there.
So interesting. I thought about that is, I wonder how they know that for sure, because nobody's been around 250 years to measure that.
They sat there and they waited
That's
and
what I
they
was
waited,
wondering.
and then the next person, that person died, and they brought in another person. No, I don't know. I don't know how they figured
that's
that
possible.
out. I don't know how they figured it out,
That's
but
crazy, isn't it?
but
I'm
it's
sure there's some science
it's
behind
it's still being studied today. But it's an area, a part of the Earth that is heavily researched, and a lot of the natural habitat is still there.
That's cool.
Whereas in some parts of the world, the natural habitat's kind of going away, which is sad.
it. It is sad. That's super cool, though.
Yeah.
Speaking of sad, I've been studying a lot about addiction lately, which we talk about all the time. And this recent article that I read, I think I've studied this before, read about it before, but they're suggesting that a lot of times the hardest part of quitting a drug or an addiction is because the brain is so rewired to not feeling good if it doesn't have the drug. So what happens is you quit the drug, and then you get into this super depressed state, and you stay there. And so naturally the inclination to go back to the drug is so great because you just don't feel good, and you don't want to live like that. So what are your options? Options are kill yourself, which unfortunately a lot of people wind up doing, or go back on the drug. That's why there's so many relapses. Now, that's not the only reason why people have a hard time quitting drugs, but I thought that was really interesting. They've studied, how the brain understands the process and how it changes over the course of time with the drug addiction. Now, the other thought I have is that, because you said sad, so we talk about sad, this is what triggered me to talk about depression and drug addiction. So I think a lot of people that are born with depression, the brain is just wired that way, right? Unfortunately. So when you don't feel good, you're going to try to find a way to feel good. And what is that way? Drugs increase that dopamine, and you start feeling good on the drug. And so it just seems like a natural way to respond to your sadness. Depression, I mean, it's the same sort of thing, right? Depression, sadness. Call it what you want, you just don't feel good, you don't feel right. So, unfortunately for the drug addict, it's a tall order to sober up. That could be alcohol, that could be any kind of drug. And, it's tough, man. I know so many people that are struggling right now to quit taking drugs, quit drinking. And they struggle and struggle and struggle, and they get sober for a while and they go back, and they get sober and they go back, and that's just typical. I tell my friends all the time when they ask me for encouragement or some advice, I'll say, look, man, I've been off drugs probably 25, 30 years, and for me, the only thing that really kept me sober and feeling good was going to the gym. And they look at me like with these blank stares, like, I'm not going to the gym. But guys, it's really the only salvation in my mind compared to all the other ways that you can stay sober. It's tough. It's going to be tough. And once you enter into that world of addiction, wow, it's hard, man. But over the course of time, if you work out, you do exercise, physical exercise of some kind, I promise you, you're going to feel a lot better. You're going to feel good, and you're not going to want to go back to the drug. Now, you have a new addiction, because I notice every time I don't go to the gym, if I'm out of town or if I'm super sick or something, I almost get depressed. Like, wow, what's going on? I'm thinking to myself, because I'm addicted to working out. So, but it's a much better addiction, right? Obviously.
Yes.
So, I'm not trying to like be a Debbie Downer today, but these are...
You're a Ronnie Downer.
I'm a Ronnie Downer. So, just a couple quick stories, a couple of examples of what I'm talking about so you can kind of relate. So I've got a friend that I used to do martial arts with. I got a phone call a couple of weeks ago. Hey Ron, this is so-and-so, and man, I'm really struggling. And I would really like your help to help me to sober up. And, is there anything you can do to help me? And I said, sure. You can meet me at the gym. You can come into my martial arts school. We can do some private work together. I don't think you're in a position to be around people right now, but that'll get you back in that loop, start you back on the right track again. And this person is really struggling not only with her addiction, but with her children. She's I think it's already happened. She's already lost her children to the state or to the husband or the ex-husband or whatever, however that works, because she's in no position to take care of the kids. And she's, and that's another downside to addiction, right? And I'll get into some more of those stories here in a second, but so she was going to come into the dojo and meet me, never showed up. Another week goes by, I get another phone call, same kind of conversation. I'm really struggling, I'm drinking myself into oblivion every day. I just need to get sober, can you help me get sober? We make the arrangements again, she doesn't show up. And it's like, this person, if you met her, you'd be shocked if you knew her 5 years ago and I knew her, and then now see her in this condition, because she was vibrant, she was beautiful, she was athletic. I used to do martial arts with her, had everything in the world going on for herself, and to see her in this position, it's just so sad. And it just proves to me that anybody can fall into this. What's the right word? There's a word for that.
Trap?
Well, maybe
No.
trap, or
This
depths of depression, or anyway, and anybody can wind up in this kind of condition. I just couldn't believe it, because I remember her so different, right? Mm-hmm. But along the way, either she's got that alcoholic gene, or she just started drinking to the point where now she doesn't feel good unless she drinks. So in other words, you stay depressed if you don't do the drug, which is crazy, but that's the way the brain operates. At any rate, I hope that at some point she'll come out of that and be okay again. And I'm sure you guys know people that are similar, that are like this person, and you want to help them. And to be honest, you can't really help anybody that won't help themselves. But you can still encourage, you can still set an example by being sober and encourage them to do the right things. And you never know what might come around. Maybe at some point they do get sober and they turn their lives around and everything is okay. You got to hope. You can't ever give up, right? I was telling Brent a while ago about some of the people that work for me that are really struggling with relationships. And what usually goes along with couples not getting along is, unfortunately, addiction. Because it just creates so much drama. And money becomes a problem. And I have several people in my life that have lost their home. They've lost their vehicle. They've lost everything. They've lost their children, right? And how you're not going to get along. And then what happens is the spouse winds up doing drugs with the other spouse to try to appease the situation, or maybe it's the only way they can feel. Maybe they can only feel good that way. And everybody is just going through all this drama. I say everybody. A lot of people in my life that I know are struggling with this sort of thing. And it just goes on and on and on. On a positive note, I got a cool story to tell.
Good.
Yeah, so yesterday I'm at a job site doing some electrical work. And
Was it shocking
was
experience?
shocking.
Oh, okay. Had to say that.
and this light bulb came on. I had this epiphany.
Okay.
All of a sudden I see this butterfly, and it starts following me. It's the craziest thing I've ever seen. And it lands on my hand. And I tried to shake it off, and it re-landed on my hand. And I looked at this butterfly, and this butterfly looked at me. I thought, this is really, I've never in my life had this happen, ever. Usually animals, like they don't want to, get that close or stay that close, particularly a small animal like that, or an insect. And at some point I, kind of brushed it off, and I got in my car, and I started to drive off, and this butterfly would not leave my car. It got inside my car, and then it got on the outside. It got back inside, and then it got on the outside, and it followed me over a block. And I thought to myself, and I read an article about this yesterday on Google, what does this mean, right? So the romantics, the people, the romantics, they say, well, that's a sign, positive sign, or a message from your loved ones that have passed away, or a message from God, or a good omen, or whatever. I thought I would get your opinion on this, guys, and maybe you could comment and let me know what you think about that. Do you have a thought on that, sir?
Yes, you must have smelled like a flower that day.
That's the reason. Somebody else said maybe it's sweat. They're attracted to sweat. But I wanted to be more like, on the...
Yeah, I don't know
side.
anything about that other side, but I am very open-minded, and anything is possible. But maybe you smelled like a flower.
Okay, well, that makes me feel good. Guys, I think what it really comes down to is stay optimistic, stay progressive. If you got a problem, man, hit it head on. Don't delay, don't defer, don't kick the can. Every day that's something that's in my life that I'm not feeling good about, I try to find a solution. I'm not saying it's perfect, but you have to address anything that isn't going well, whether it's finances or health or friendship or relationships, or I don't care what it is, physical issues, financial issues, legal issues. Find some answers to solve the problems. Maybe you don't like something about yourself. Figure out a way to improve that. Because every day that you work on yourself and you try to improve yourself, you're going to feel that much better about yourself. Your confidence is going to be that much higher. Speaking of confidence, I'd had the bug for a couple of weeks, and so I was going to martial arts, but I wasn't as active as I normally am. But finally, by yesterday, I felt pretty much back to normal. So last night in class, I came in late because I was on some job sites. But anyway, I got to the dojo, and they'd already started, and so I got to the tail end of the techniques, and the coach shows the technique, and we drill it, practice, and then we get into live rolling, right, which is basically live sparring. So they matched me up with a 15-year-old. And I did the math on that. I'm like, and I never talk about this to anybody, but the podcast, I'd like to think that it would set an example and encourage somebody. So that means that I was almost, 15 from 72 would be over 60, almost 60 years difference in age. And, this kid's fast. And I'm not as fast, right? Because when you get old, you lose a lot of your speed and your agility and balance and all that stuff, right? But working out does keep a lot of that in check, does allow me to participate and still compete and do all that sort of stuff. We talk about it all the time. So never give up. It's never too late. You can go and go and go until you drop dead, and then that's okay. Then that's the end of it, right? So I was grappling with this kid, and he got me in what they call an arm bar. So I tapped, right, because I didn't want to break my arm. And then we were rolling some more, and I saw this opportunity, what we call a Kimura, which is basically like a chicken wing if you're remember when you were a kid and you were wrestling. So basically you grab the arm and you bring it behind the back, and that basically tears the shoulder. It looks something like this. And I was able to get it because I've noticed in my martial arts business career that go back to the things that I've learned early on in my career because I've done it so many times it becomes second nature, right? And a lot of the new things that I've been learning over the last few years, it's harder for me to assess and understand and retain and be able to use. But regardless, I was able to get it, and he was trying to get out. He was trying to get out because he's so young and so agile. He was going to try to roll to get out of the position where it wouldn't hurt him. But I knew that, and I stopped him from doing it, and he tapped. I thought, boy, he got mad. Not like angry mad, but you could tell he was, I'm going to get even with you, old man. So he raised the speed up, he raised up the action a little bit, and then he was able to finish me again with another submission. But the point I'm trying to make is that even a blind hog can find an acorn. You can still do, and what did that do for my confidence? Reminded me that I have more maybe that I realize that I have in terms of skill level. Because if I can go in with somebody that much younger and still have some success, I probably would have lost a competition match to him, but at least I would have had some gain, right?
Yeah.
So don't ever give up. Is what I'm trying to say. Stay the course. Have confidence in yourself and keep moving forward. Okay, that's about it for the stories. What do you say with some breaking news?
Well, we've been talking about sweating. We've been talking about smells.
Is that a subtle way of saying something about me?
Well, I don't
today.
smell you. I don't smell flowers.
Okay.
So, but today where we live, it's in the mid 90s with humidity at 100%. So it's
in the United States.
It's very, 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 very toasty.
Toasty.
And I found this article to be interesting to kind of tie in with what's going on now. A lot of sweating is happening.
Okay.
A study was done in Japan that found that women's armpit body odor can be relaxing for men.
Oh my gosh.
But only in certain circumstances. They did testing over several months on different women, and they found that during the menstrual cycle is when the men appeared to be relaxed when they were sniffing women's armpit body odor.
I don't understand this.
So I guess, I don't know if that goes back to, how animals, like deer, go crazy during, when they're looking for a mate during a certain time of year. Dogs, cats, it's all. Wonder if we're like that. Wonder if that's like a.
Well, I think it's something along those lines.
But I don't know how they got men to sniff women's armpits. I guess they paid them to do that.
I would think they would have to.
So I guess, women, if you're walking around and a man comes and smells your armpit, maybe there's a reason for it. I don't really know.
Interesting.
And then today is, you're going to like this. July 30th is International Day of Friendship.
Ooh, I like that.
Yes, friendship. What's it say here? A sweet friendship refreshes the soul.
That's sweet. That's very nice.
It's also Share a Hug Day.
Ooh.
And then, for all you cheesecake lovers, it's National Cheesecake Day.
Speaking of cheesecake,
Yeah.
I had some cheesecake last night.
Woo!
You know why?
Why?
Because it was on sale at Walmart.
Yeah.
Or I wouldn't have bought it.
Yeah.
Like half price.
Yeah.
That's really what I needed to do is eat cheesecake.
Yeah.
At midnight.
Awesome. Yeah.
The things we do.
Splurge.
It's like I'd say to myself, here's how I rationalized it. I worked really hard today and I deserve this. This is how the brain works. This is how we talk ourselves into doing things. And then the next day you're thinking, man, why did I do that? But that shows you how we are so up and down as human beings with our moods and our attitudes. You know what, guys? It's just life, and we're not perfect. We're going to screw up. We're going to do dumb things. The key is to get back on track. Stay on track as long as you can. If you get back off track, get back on track.
Yes, sir.
Speaking of track, I'm going to go to the gym here in a little bit. I have a friend at the gym who, she's about 50, super fit, works out every day. We became friends. She's a nurse, very nice lady. Been married for like 30 years, I don't know. Anyway, she's signed up to a competition in Boston, some kind of like triathlon type thing, but it's not quite that thing, but it's something like that where you go and multiple events. You have to like run for a mile, then you go to a station and you do certain physical things, and you run like another mile or kilometer,
swim,
and it's
or
like
bike.
15 stations.
Yeah.
She said that like the people that win that do it in like an hour and something. She said that some people that are not in good shape, it'll take like 3 hours. I said, well, I said, you work out every day, you feel great about going in. She said, no, I'm a nervous wreck. And she said, it's like in 2 months and I'm working out, you know, blah, blah, blah. But I'm just thinking how great it is that she's, at her age, she's got that mindset to want to do something that's a goal.
Yeah.
And she wants to accomplish that goal. And that's
Yeah.
what life's all about, guys. Set goals. It may not mean anything to somebody else, but it's important to you. That's what matters.
Yeah.
Whatever your goal is. And
Yeah.
if nobody likes it, that's too bad. That's on them. Do it for yourself, man.
Eating cheesecake at midnight. That's a
Cheesecake
goal.
It's terrible. At any rate, any closing thoughts? Any words of wisdom, sir, before we get out of here?
You know,
Drink Gatorade when it's hot outside, by the way.
You know, I mentioned earlier, my wife and I had this Alaskan cruise on our bucket list. I think everybody needs a bucket list. Make it reasonable to where you could possibly figure out how to do it, and then come up with a plan on how to get there.
I like that.
It took us about 2.5 years of planning and saving and scheduling,
put it all
and
together.
so. But we knew 2.5 years ago this is what we were going to do, and so yeah, I think like Ron said, set a goal, whatever that goal is, whatever means a lot to you, and find a path and a plan to get there.
Yes, sir.
I promise you, you will not be disappointed in the results.
Well, those are some words of wisdom. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
You're a pretty smart guy.
No, I didn't want to go on an Alaskan cruise. I said, honey, why are we going somewhere I got to wear a coat? I got to wear a coat. We're going somewhere on vacation where I got to wear a jacket and bring gloves? Really? Is this really happening? I'm glad I did it.
I'm glad
Yeah.
you did it too.
Yeah. Yeah.
You seem like you're in a great frame of mind. So,
Yes.
So that's
yes.
cool.
Well rested. I was
That's
trying to
super
get
cool.
back in the
That's super
groove.
cool.
Yeah.
Not to use a pun, but
Super cool. Yeah. My brain was refrigerated for a
Oh.
week. No. Yeah. It coming back off vacation. The saying you've got to have a vacation to rest up from the vacation
for the rest up
is
from
really
the
true
vacation.
because there's a lot of traveling involved. There was some drama with the airlines. We got home really late.
oh, always with
That's
the
okay.
airlines.
That's all right. But you know what? Wouldn't trade it for the world. We've got those memories. We got the photos. We got the videos. We're sharing. Every day we talked about, hey, wouldn't this be cool if our grandkids are here? Wouldn't this be cool if our daughter or son was here? I don't know that we'll ever do it again. It's very expensive, but in my mind, it was well worth the time, energy, effort, and money spent.
Cool.
Yeah.
Not to change the subject, but I remember when I was 13, 14, 15, I could go to the airport and stand at the counter and talk to the person behind the counter and ask them if there were any seats available. And if there were, I could get on that plane for 50% discount as a, because I was a kid.
Standby or something. Oh, kid.
It's like, you're right, it was called a standby, I think.
Yeah.
And there was no security check, and it was like, you just went to the gate and you got on the plane. That shows you, though, how, wow, those were the days.
It's changed.
Man.
They want you there hours before.
I got turned down one time because I wasn't there early enough. Like, I got there about 50 minutes. No, it has to be at least an hour. You can't get on the plane. Wow. But anyway, so much for all that, guys. It's a new world we live in now. So look, guys, here's the deal. Pickle.
I like pickles.
If you I like pickles too.
Sweet and sour.
Speaking of that, one of my coaches made me a smash burger the other night. Woo. Wow. And he put pickles on the side, and man, I'm telling you what, that really made that burger.
Yeah.
Any rate, guys, if you don't give up, just remember eventually those stars, they're going to line up. And you know what? You're going to be a lot happier than you would have been if you would have quit. Never give up, never give up, never give up, never give up. So until that day comes, just remember, keep your head up, keep your chin up, and stay positive.